Okay folks, welcome to another Shmup You Must Play. Now when you think of shmups, you tend to think of glorious looking games like Dodon Pachi, R-Type, R-Type Leo, Gradius 5. But back in the early days when systems couldn't do graphics, they could absolutely do shoot 'em ups. And this is one of the finest examples of a game where it's gameplay over graphics. This is Beamrider, programmed by Dave Rolfe by Activision. Now this is on the C64. Now I first set my eyes on this game back in, I don't know when it was, 1983, 1984. I bought a compilation tape called Soft Aid, which was it was the software industry's attempt to raise money for Ethiopia. And on said tape was this, and I loaded it up. I'd never heard of it. Loaded it up, and I just thought this looked absolutely bollocks. And you know what? I played it, and here we are 40 years later. I still regard this as one of the finest ever shmups. Fairly simplistic. You move along a grid you can't move up and down, you can only move left and right. You move along a grid. You'll see there's about 4 or 5 lines where you can shoot bullets. The enemies do flip from left to right, but you can only, their bullets come down these lanes. Actually, this game would have been a perfect game for an LCD game back in the 80s. Yeah. You've got, there's various baddies that will come down the screen at you. Now you'll see there at the top left it says 9, that's how many baddies I've got to destroy before I move on to the next level. Down to 8 now. Some baddies like that brown, I don't know what it's meant to be because the graphics are so awful. Is it a crab? Is it a lobster? I don't know what the green thing is. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. You can't shoot the brown things, you can't shoot the green things. Now after you clear a level you get to meet the mothership. Now you've got 3 super bombs, whatever you want to call them, missiles. You've got 3 attempts to try and destroy the mothership. Now I've started on level 5. It's quite a fair game. Now these yellow things I've just picked up, these are extra life. Now trust me, you do need them. You do get quite a lot of lives in this game, but you know, you will need them later on. But this is one of these games you need to play it with the lights out, with the sound turned up extremely loud, and you'll become at one with the game. I used to hear about Jeff Minter talking about getting into the zone in a game, and I never really understood it. And this was probably one of the first games that I got into the zone. When you play a game so much, you almost become at one with the hardware, and you become almost like you're not aware of what's going on around you. So don't play this game when you're driving, folks, please don't. But yeah, once you get into it, it's just phenomenal. The sound effects are to die for. This game was programmed for, or release I should say, for all the early systems. ColecoVision, I think it also came out in Intellivision, definitely came out in Atari 2600. It came out on might have even come out in the Spectrum as well, I think it did actually. I'm playing the C64 one simply because this was the one that I played back in the day. I did do an 8-bit face-off kerfuffle looking at every version. I will put a little link, if you look up to the top right hand side of the screen, you'll see a little link to said video, so you can go and watch that later on. But it doesn't really matter. If I remember rightly, every version is wonderful. I love the sound effects in the C64. I think they're so they suit the game perfectly. It's kinda based, it's kinda like, I was going to say Galaga. There's a game called Juno First, which I'd never heard of until MAME came along. And think of Galaxian crossed with Defender. That's what Juno First is like, and this is very similar to Juno First, albeit you don't have, well, you do have the grid lines, but you can move up and down, and you can move anywhere on the screen, whereas this one, you're restricted to the sort of the lines, the 4 or 5 lines on the screen. I think that's what makes this game so appealing. It's very easy to play. It's difficult to master, difficult to get good at, but it's the simplicity of the game. You can't go wrong with it, and that's what makes this game so fulfilling. Now these blue ships you'll see there, when they get to the bottom of the screen, they just park their backside. Oh, missed the extra life there, damn it. So you want to try and destroy these blue ships if you can, because if you run into them when they're parked at the bottom, you're going to die. And I've just completely made an arse of it. Listen to that sound though, wow. Now I watched my mate Charlie Farr play this about a year ago. It was something insane like level 50. Now I think, suffice to say, Dave Roth that programmed this, there we go, Extra Life, he must have been a massive arcade fan, because this is just a slice of arcade games at its best. But whilst it's challenging, it does, I says, the sort of difficulty curve is very gradual. So even somebody playing it for the first time, they're going to get to the, you know, they're going to get quite far into the game. And that's the secret to a good game, as far as I'm concerned. It makes you believe that you can play the game. I mean, we've all played games that are way too difficult, and you just never play them because they're too difficult. But and this is probably why I love this game so much, because it's quite an easy game, certainly to begin with. But in later levels, you know, it does get insanely difficult. But this is the best example, or one of the best examples in my opinion, where graphics doth not make a game, it's about playability. I think this is my last life, or last man as we used to call them back in the day. There we go. Yeah, listen, that is a mighty Beamrider. If you've never played it, go and load up an emulator and play it right now. Remember, lights off, sound up. As always guys, thank you very much for watching.